Three, two, one. Hey, boys and girls, it is Giacomo. Yes, I still make videos on this channel from time to time, but now that the news cycle's a bit slow and the doddering old man is up on that throne of ours, it seemed like a more prudent time right about now to talk about something that I care near and dear to my heart, and that is the Marine Corps. My only opportunity to become a man without having a dad in the household was to become a highly motivated, truly dedicated United States Marine. Arr! Enough of that. You may have seen the controversy about what Tucker Carlson had written or had said on his show, and for whatever reason, I'm looking at the feeds right now. You know, the whole subject about Joe Biden wants, different accessible hairstyles for women and brand new pregnancy uniforms and I think Joe Biden did serve. God only knows. Must have been with frickin' John Paul Jones in 1812 or something. Nothing has changed. When a woman gets pregnant, she becomes less physical. Why? Because she's carrying something inside of her that might slow her down a little bit from normal day-to-day activities, and most definitely combat-related activities. Here's a little bit of background for you boys and girls. It'll be a pretty long video, so bear with me. I promise I'll be entertaining as possible. I served in the Marine Corps Reserve from 1987, it's cats back there, to 1992, serving with IMEF during Operation Desert Storm when my reserve unit was called up. Now, among my many jobs, we call it Semper Gumby, which means always flexible, I was battalion admin clerk. Now, this is a picture of yours truly at a logistics exercise in 1998 or so. That's me, all young and skinny. And you know what you see right there? That actually, and I don't know how I kept getting away with it, is called an eccentric haircut. Regulations state for men that your hair must be 0 to 3 inches evenly graduated. Of course, me being the comedian that I was then and still am now, like, okay, 0, 3 inches. I was doing high and tights better than anybody else. It was high and it was tight, you know? Hey, Kid and Play had nothing on Giacomo back then, but hey, regs are regs. You have to follow them. With women, your hair, when wrapped up, cannot extend beyond the bottom of the collar. I'm pretty sure it goes for the Army and the Navy and the Air Force as well, most definitely in the Marine Corps, because your hair needs to be short enough, number one with us, to fit underneath a gas mask or a helmet, which you will wear at any given time during your service. You don't have time to have big old long dookie dreadlocks down the middle of your back or braids or Senegalese twists or anything else that is eccentric or a distraction from the uniform or doesn't fit under necessary uniform items. Let's talk about pregnancy here as well. The whole idea of making a pregnancy uniform for a pregnancy flight suit, apparently. I'm 6'2". I wanted to fly so badly. Unfortunately, I didn't have the mathematics skills to get into officer candidate school. Mea culpa, it's my own fault. I accept that. For the most part, you are not going to see a big human being like myself fitting into the cockpit of a fighter plane. We all know women want to fly fighter jets, and they've been allowed to. Praise Yahweh, a lot of them are really, really good at what they do. But guess what? That stick, it's right about here. It's really, really close to your body. If you're 6 months pregnant, and maybe you've got twins, or you put a little more weight on than most women or so, where's that stick going to be? It's going to be right up against that big old pregnancy belly. And you're not going to be able to move the stick well. And that goes for I forget what it's called in the cargo planes as well, the double stick. It's actually really, really close, okay? This is not about fairness. This is not about a war on women or anything the freak else. It's combat effectiveness and personal readiness. If you cannot meet those two criteria, what the military does as a whole, and most definitely in the Marine Corps we take you offline and give you what's called light duty. When I tore up my shoulder playing softball of all things, I couldn't raise my arm. I tore my rotator cuff. Guess what? I had to go on light duty. You sprain your ankle, okay, you can't wear combat boots any longer. You put on what we call go fasters, but you're still expected to do at least most of your job that you can do. Again, it's not about fairness or being cute or anything else. It is about your personal readiness to do your original job. Now, of course, you get to a certain point where you can't do your job any longer, and you get what I got when I tore up my neck and my back in Desert Storm, a medical discharge. Hey, we can't have you around here any longer. You're kind of done. Does that involve pregnant women as well? No, not exactly. Because generally what happens is, I think it happens at all, period, is that you're going to get a medical relief of duty until you're ready to come back after the baby's been weaned and such, whatever you need to do that time off. Or a woman can request a discharge to say, hey, you know what? I've got an infant at home that needs my 100% attention. I'd like to get a discharge, please. And that's the end of it. This is not some sort of inclusive nonsense in the modern military. Again, I don't know. Maybe standards have changed since I was in the Marine Corps, and that was literally 30 years ago that I left come next year in 2022. But it's always going to be about effectiveness and readiness and uniformity. Okay? Let's take a look at what the 2MEF, which is, I was in IMEF, of course, what 2MEF, the information group, says here. I don't know, they must have had Private Schmuckatelli writing the Twitter feed. You know, what it looks like in today's armed forces, Tucker Carlson. Get right before you get left, boomer. Now, let me tell you something. I never made corporal. Again, mea culpa. I really didn't put the kind of effort I needed to be putting into, with one exception. A lot of the things that I did do didn't get noticed, like pulling 5 people out of an overturned vehicle in Saudi Arabia. Had my unit commanders been there to see it, I'd have made sergeant before I got out. Okay, that's what it is. But you better believe, if I were the admin chief and I caught whoever wrote that tweet in the process of doing it and besmirching 2MEF, he would have been mopping up rain. That's an old expression we have. In other words, you're going to take your mop and go out in the middle of a rainstorm, and you keep mopping until I tell you you're done. That, or you're going to find yourself losing a stripe or a rocker. It's the way things are. You cannot do nonsense like that. This is not the new Marine Corps, where you besmirch the entire Marine Corps by one ignorant tweet that a 15-year-old girl might have written. Sorry, 15-year-old girl, me to offend you guys either way. But we need to keep one thing very, very straight here. This desire to make the military as a whole, and the Marine Corps even more specifically, inclusive, it's going to get us all in a bunch of trouble. And what Tucker Carlson said was right. We are concentrating on making this new, friendly, lovey-dovey, warm, accepting military community, and the Chinese don't give a fraganackle bull about it. They are ready, willing, and able to destroy us because we're distracted with bullcrap. See, I kept the language twice. I mean, trust you me, when we had a couple of incoming Scud missiles at Al Jubail when I was there, it got really, what the hell was this? It got really bad. People were cursing a blue streak at each other, like, hey, we got incoming ordnance. Get your head out of your ass, Lance Corporal. And I got a chance to yell at the PFCs as well because, to them, I was in charge. That being the case, I do want to clean up my language, get off that rabbi trail right about now. It's imperative that we get back to our number one mission. Fight wars and win. And maybe, just maybe, they will fire an EMP over our heads one day. And we're not going to have to worry about if somebody got free transgender surgery in the military, or Mama San is 8 months pregnant and she fits into her uniform properly. Because there are going to be a whole lot of feet from China trancing all over our shores, and we won't be able to do anything about it because we're worried about bullcrap. Okay? So, I'm sorry, boys and girls, Tucker Carlson is right. Let's focus on winning wars first and protecting our nation. And then we can worry about being so inclusive and warm with each other. Hey, I'm Giacomo. Semper Fi. Shalom. and I love you.